Hey first grade, welcome to day 3 of math. I'm so excited to have you here because we are working on another brand new skill. So what we are going to be doing today is we are looking for patterns. So there are patterns in all of your life. So if you think about a checkerboard, there's a pattern of red, black, red, black. If you look at your carpet or your floor, there's usually patterns in the tile or the carpet. There can be patterns in your bracelet, patterns on your clothing. Patterns are everywhere around the world, and you especially see patterns in math. So we're going to talk about some of the patterns that we see in addition. So if you look behind me here, we're going to talk about some of the patterns that are in some of these problems. So I need your focus up on this top row. So our first problem here is 6 plus 5 equals. So let's work on this one together. So I know that many of you can probably tell me right away what 6 plus 5 is, but it's so important that you draw the pictures so that you see the patterns. So let's start with 6 here. I'm going to draw out 6 circles, counting with Mrs. Gordon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next, I'm going to draw how many more circles? How many more circles does Mrs. Gordon need to draw? 5. So let's add on 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's count up all of our circles to determine what 6 plus 5 is. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And our final answer is 11. So 6 plus 5 gives me an answer of 11. Can you do the same thing Mrs. Gordon just did, but for 16 plus 5? I'm going to give you about 1 minute to solve that. Go ahead. All right, friends, so let's go ahead and do this problem together. So make sure you're checking your paper to see that you have the same thing as Mrs. Gordon. So now we're adding 16 plus 5. So how many 10s do we see in the number 16? We see 1 10. How many 1s do we see in the number 16? We see 6, so we're going to draw out 6 1s, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And how many 1s are we adding to the number 16? We're adding 5. So let's go ahead and draw those 5 1s. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now what we're going to do is after we've drawn our picture, we're going to count up the total amount that we have so that we can determine what 16 plus 5 is. So let's count that here. So we have 10. Okay, make sure you're counting with me. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that means 16 plus 5 equals 21. I want you to look at these first 2 problems. Are you noticing anything happening? Do you see a pattern? It's okay if you're not seeing that pattern yet, because by the time we get this last one, I think you might be able to tell. So now you're going to be doing 26 plus 5. I'm going to give you a minute to do that problem, then we will solve together. Go ahead for that last one. All right, friends, I hope I've given you enough time. If not, press that space bar to pause, Mrs. Gordon. So let's look at this problem here. So we have 26 plus 5. So let's start with our tens place in 26. How many tens do we see? We see 2 tens. So let's go ahead and draw out our 2 tens. So we have 10, 20. How many ones do we have in the number 26? We have 6 ones. Let's go ahead and draw those, counting with Mrs. Gordon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now we've drawn out the number 26, but we're adding 5 more to it. Okay, so let's draw out our 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now that we've added 26 and 5, we need to count them all up so we can determine what our final answer is. So counting with Miss Gordon, here we go. 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31 is our final answer here. Now, I'm going to grab another marker because I want to see if you notice the pattern, because that is what today's lesson is all about. Okay, I'm going to circle 2 things. Let's start with the first set. I want you to look at those numbers I just circled and tell me what changed. 6, 16, 26. What was changing each time? The numbers changed, right? How much were they increasing by? It got bigger. 6, 16, 26. What happened? We added 10 each time. That is so awesome that you saw that. So here we had 6 ones. Then we added 10, so we had a 10 come to the tens place. It became the number 16. And then at the very end, we had 2 tens, and it became 26. If you were to count by tens, starting at 6, it would be 6, 16, 26, 36, 46, and so on. I love how you saw that. So given that Mrs. Gordon pointed out that pattern, I'm going to see if you can tell another pattern I saw. Hopefully you did too. Let me grab a different color here. Okay. Do you notice a pattern here? So looking at the pink circles now, do you see that other pattern? You should be like, oh my gosh, yes, Mrs. Gordon, I see it, I see it. What's that pattern with the pink circles? It's our answers, and they are increasing by how much each time? Our answers are increasing by 10. We have 11, 21, and 31. So the reason why our answers are increasing by 10 each time is because we added 10 more each time to the number 5. How cool was that? So like I was talking about, patterns exist everywhere, especially in math. So I have one more set of problems that we're going to do together, and I want to see if you can find out the pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you about 3 minutes. So that's 1 minute per problem here. And I want you to solve and see if you can find those patterns. So we're doing 8 plus 7, 18 plus 7, and 28 plus 7. So I'm going to give you about 3 minutes. Go ahead. Okay friends, I'm giving you about 1 more minute to finish. If you're already done, double check your work. I usually see a lot of silly mistakes because we don't draw pictures and we didn't count them up properly. So use this about 45 seconds you have left to make sure everything's looking good, okay? All right, so let's start here with 8 plus 7. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw out 8 ones, counting with Miss Gordon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna count on 7 more ones. Ready? So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I count them all up, let's double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Did you get 15 as your answer for 8 plus 7? Awesome. So let's move on to our second problem here. Now we're jumping from 8 to 18 and we're gonna add 7. So I'm gonna challenge you. Could you tell me the answer to 18 plus 7 without drawing a picture? Can you add another 10 to get your answer? What would it be? It would be 25. That's absolutely correct because we are adding 10 more than we had before. So our answer of 15 is going to increase by 10 also. So let's draw a picture to make sure. So I have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And we're going to count on 7 more. Ready? 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. See how that works? I love patterns. It's so interesting. Okay, we have that last one. Let's try using that same strategy again. So if we went from 15 to 25, because we had 8 to 18, now we're going to 28. So if we're adding 10 more on than we had before, what's our answer now? 35. Let's double check here. Let's draw out 28, 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. We're going to count on 7 more. Ready? 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. All right, my friends, that concludes today's lesson. So make sure you check Seesaw so that you can finish up your work for this lesson. I hope you really enjoyed looking at patterns with me. It's really interesting to see. I also challenge you to see what kind of patterns you can find around your house, you know, whether that be your toys, your clothing, even your carpeting like we talked about earlier. So patterns are very fun. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. All right, bye-bye.